Good evening, YouTube. I think I'm ready to sit here and just rant about the DOT e-logs that obviously every single truck driver is going to have by December of this year. So, I watch a lot of truck drivers YouTube videos, and two of the main ones I watch is Lashawn Parks and I think his name is Tune Goodwin. They got some pretty good material on their videos. But Lashawn Parks was the one that had brought up about e-logs and how he said e-logs is fine, but there's a few things about e-logs that just make it, pretty hard for truckers to be happy and making pretty good revenue or money. And like the breakdown of e-logs is you have 70-hour week, then you have your 11-hour drive time, and then you have your 14-hour on duty time. And in that, you have to take a 30-minute break within 8 hours of driving, or you'll be in violation. And after 11 hours, you have to shut down for 10 hours in order to get back your 11-hour clock. So what I'm saying is, the thing that he was saying is that it's not so bad, because obviously there are regulations that need to be put into place, because drivers do like, one person can mess it up for everybody. There's always that one nut that can just mess it up for all the rest of the bunch. Like back in the day where they had paper log, and I'm sure like way back in the day where there just were no logs, people were running to the point of accidents, or they were running like just ridiculous hours to where they were fatigued, to where they just running so freaking tired, or running off of it was so bad back in the day. They used to take cocaine, methamphetamine, like drugs, to help them to, run off of just about no sleep. So, as far as being regulated, it can make sense. But some of the stuff they doing, I feel like, is a bit too much. So I agree with a lot of stuff that Lashawn Parks was saying. That my main thing is that I truly agree with. As soon as you drive, I believe it is, you drive 5 miles or for more than 5 minutes, your clock starts. It takes you from, whether you're in the sleeper berth or whether you're on off duty, it takes you from one of those into on duty drive. And the thing is, once your clock starts, it don't stop. And the thing is, when you're on duty time, because you have 14 hours of on duty time, once them 14 hours catches up with your on duty drive time, is when your on duty drive time ticks down that much more, to where your time is just ticking. To me, that's bogus. I feel like if you were given 11 hours that day, I don't feel like nothing should mess with your 11 hours of drive. If I started my 11 hour, like, as long as it's within that 24-hour period, if I started my 11-hour day, let's say I started 5 o'clock in the morning, and the whole day passed by, whatever I use should only be what's been shaved off or deducted from my 11 hours. It shouldn't be that it ticks down if I don't use it. Because things like going to a shipper, you go to a shipper, shippers can take all day. Sometimes they take 6, sometimes 10, 12 hours. So sometimes in that situation where they finish loading you done ran out of hours, all because your clock is ticking down. Your 14-hour done caught up with your 11 hours, which I feel is bogus. So he was saying, get rid of the 70, get rid of the 14, and just keep the 10 hours. Like, just keep the 11 hours. You just get your 11 hours every day. And also, there's another thing too, where you get 70 hours a week. So after that week, you get recap hours. And your recap hours are hours that you get back from the previous week that you had. So let's just say Sunday you ran 5 hours, Monday you ran 10 hours, Tuesday you ran 8 hours, Wednesday you ran 11 hours. Thursday you ran 2 hours. Next week, each of those days, those hours I just said, that's what you're going to get back. And those are pretty kind of sucky hours because, I mean, next week, as far as what you get in loads, every week is different of the hours you might need to run your loads or what you get. So those recaps can be good, but I mean, it sucks. So only way I see that really truly working out, if you got a good dispatcher to where they giving you loads to where you running 8+ hour days. So in your next following week, you always getting 8+ hours back on your recap hours to where you never really have to do a 34-hour reset. But in situations like what I just said, where you got those just spread out hours to where it just sucks, it forces you to have to do a 34-hour reset where you might not want to. Some people are really hustlers in this trucking industry, and I'm one of them, to where if I got time to run, I want to run. I don't want to have to sit and do a 34-hour reset because, my hours for the last week just wasn't there for me to continue on to the next week. So the main thing that I truly agree with Mr. Lashawn Parks on is that you should get your 11 hours. They should cut the 70, cut the 14, cut the 30-minute break, and you do need the 10-hour break, but you should have the 10-hour break and keep your 11 hours every day. That just should be daily, and freeze your time. Have it to where your time don't tick down for nobody, nothing. Only way it tick down from what you actually drove, and that's it. But I can actually show y'all what I'm talking about, because I'm kind of just learning DOT hours myself. So this stuff is kind of new to me as well. So I really like to show versus just talking. If I could just get my truck turned on. Once my Qualcomm log up. See, a lot of these truckers probably don't even have Qualcomms installed in their trucks. So when December come, well, I don't know if it has to be Qualcomm style, but it's going to be mandatory that you have some type of e-log in your truck, because especially owner operators, owner authority fellas, they still riding on paper logs to where they can run illegal, run how they want to run and make that bank. But people like us that work for these mega companies where you leasing and you get the truck pretty much already installed with Mr. Qualcomm here. Mr. Qualcomm comes standard, mandatory. So like I said, Mr. Lashawn Parks, he had a good idea with saying that, and he was saying that he wanted to make a petition to where if enough drivers come forward, that makes sense, because in the legislation or in law, most people petition, and a petition is when you get a whole slew of people, a bunch of people to petition a law, to sign against it or fight against it. So if he was to get, or if anybody was to get enough truckers that complained and went against the e-log, I'm pretty sure either they would have to change it. I don't think they would do away with it, because you talking about the government. You can't stop the government from doing all the way what he want to do, unless you really put up a fight that can lead to people getting hurt, things of that nature. But I'm on board. If he starts some kind of petition to where I can find a way to sign and be part of it, to where I could sign it, I sure would get on board, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I hate e-logs. I hate it. There's times where I'll be wanting to drive way longer than 8 hours, because I might have a trip that might take me 8 hours and 30 minutes, but I can't go straight there, because I have to take 30 minutes just to get the rest of my hours back. Or there's some times where I want to drive say I got a 1,200 mile trip. I know for sure I can do 800 or 900 miles. I can do that, but that's not possible off of a 11-hour day. You need more than 11 hours a day to get that going. So I just feel really restricted on the miles that I can cover dealing with this system. So you just only can do what you given to do. But who's to say that you can't petition it or get things going forward. So my Qualcomm is logging up. This thing sometimes take a while, but as soon as it log up, I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure truckers that's watching this, y'all know what I'm talking about, but I'm just really kind of trying to show like rookies or beginners, because like I said, I'm still a rookie and beginner myself. And when he said that video, that kind of helped me understand of like, why is my hours just like, what determines how soon your 11-hour clock starts, you know, drifting away. And he made me understand that 14 hour is catching up with your 11-hour, and that's what's causing that. So let's go on to the Qualcomm.
You have 8 hours and 0 minutes of remaining drive time.
All right, like right now I'm in the sleeper, and like I said, in order for you to get this 8-hour back, or just, you know, your 11 hours back, you have to have at least 10 hours or more. But obviously I've been sitting for 17 hours, so I'm way ready to go. But this is the thing that I'm talking about. Okay, you got your 8-hour rest break. This first line shows if you even been in your rest break long enough to reset your clock. This is the 11-hour drive time that I was talking about. Obviously, I got my 11 hours back because I've been off my rest break, for 10 hours and passed by long enough. I got my 14-hour back. 10 hours resets both of them. Now, I only got 16 hours left on my 70-hour week. So after I use up my 16 hours, I'm going to be running on recap hours. So honestly, you're going to have to be smart about that too, because if you don't run that right, like the last day of your 70-hour week is what you get. So like I said, you get 11 hours a day. So if I get 11 hours a day, then say I run 11 hours out of the 16 I have, that last day I'm probably only going to have 5.25 minutes to run. So that last day of my week is going to be a short day for me, and I don't like running like that because I like to run. I don't want to have to run off those little short hours. So I'm still learning these DOT things, but it's something to have to learn, because if not, you'll be confused. But I think they need to simplify this a little more. Like this, what their version is, or what it probably would look like on a paper log. So you got different ways to look at it. This is the more simplest ways. This is what I look at. I don't even look at the other stuff really. Like, this is different ways to look at. Like, all of these are the same as this, just written in different format. I don't even understand how to look at that. Like I said, this is the e version, electrical version of the paper log. And this is pretty much like what you've done in the last couple of days. And then obviously you got to approve it. Like, through the course of days, this stuff builds up. And you search through your stuff just to see if it's correct. Like, did you do enough on duty time? Did you log your off duty time right? Is anything, like, if everything is good, you approve it and it goes to the log department. Yeah, but that's pretty much in a nutshell. So, Mr. Lashawn Parks, if you really serious about petitioning, the government on just changing up the e-log some, sure, you got a petitioner right here with me. So, that's my blog on DOT regulations that's mandated in December. So, time is of the essence. Make better time of it. I hope y'all guys have a great evening.